Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for this Imaging USA product spotlight. Consider this your exclusive pre-game pass. Now today, you'll get a first-hand, high-level sneak peek from our value partners at what they are excited to showcase at Imaging USA, so that you can plan out your must-see stops on the expo floor before the doors even open up. So get your notepads ready, because we're about to dive right in. Now, today is December 3rd, 2025. That means we're only 5 weeks away from the biggest photography conference on the planet. Today's special guest is a man who knows all things and all things Fujifilm, Mr. Michael Bulbenko. Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Jamal. It's a pleasure to be here. And I definitely don't know all things, even though I claim to know all things. My wife will disagree.
Well, I think you're up for the challenge for these questions, Michael. I'm excited to know that Fujifilm is going to be joining us again at Imaging USA on the expo floor. And next year, which is 2026, you guys are bringing this baby with you, the Fujifilm GFX100S2 to the trade show floor. So I'm super excited to talk about this camera with you today, Mike.
Yep, that's right. And as you can see, I have it here in front of me. And I have mounted on here our GF 80mm f1.7 lens, which I'm going to take it off and just so people can see, it's not that big a lens. But we have this 80 1.7, we have a 55 1.7. My favorite portrait lens in a bunch is the 110mm f2. It's just, once you use that lens and see it through this camera and look at the output, you never ever want to go back to anything again. It's really quite remarkable.
I unbiasedly agree with you, Michael. I happen to have the 80 on this camera too. By coincidence, this was not planned, folks. This was not planned. Michael didn't ask me to bring this lens. It's here, and I can co-sign with him that this is a fantastic lens.
We're going to have a full complement of cameras and lenses on the show floor, absolutely. And as far as I know, we're also going to have photo walks, all kinds of other participatory events that you can come to our booth and take part in.
That's awesome. Yes, if you haven't been on a Fujifilm photo walk, you have to try it. This is a great way of getting your hands on the large format Fujifilm cameras as well as the APS-C Fujifilm cameras. Now, Michael, a question that people are going to ask, because a lot of our photography shooters who are PPA members shoot with 35mm cameras. Please share the benefits of shooting with a large format versus the 35mm.
So you probably heard our tagline, more than full frame. So one of the parts of the more is with that giant sensor, we have 102 megapixels in this camera. Now, some people may just roll their eyes at that and go, well, what am I going to do with 102 megapixels? I used to shoot 8x10 sheet film and 4x5. And the first time that I saw 100 megapixels on a monitor screen, it almost brought tears to my eyes because it was absolutely as sharp as the sheet film that I used to shoot. So it's really quite remarkable. And because I know most of your audience are portrait photographers and wedding photographers, here's what I found. The most amazing thing about having that kind of resolution is that you can zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, just zoom in forever. You can get right into somebody's, literally their eyelashes, but you can then retouch somebody with a single pixel brush. I know there's a lot of AI retouching out there and things like that. And, but for people that want to do it themselves, be able to use a single pixel brush to retouch any area of an image, whether it's a portrait or a landscape, is something that you just can't get with lower resolutions. It's really it's a pretty interesting thing. The larger sensor though, is a lot of people talk about the large sensor look, and it's not really the sensor that gives you the look, it's the lenses you use as you go up in sensor size. So just as, people talk about, say, APS-C cameras and they have a larger sensor than M4 cameras, and so you get a different look out of that. And full frame, they make the argument against APS-C. Well, the same argument applies. So when you have a 110 millimeter lens to do a portrait with, that is essentially the equivalent angle of view of, say, an 80 millimeter on a 35 millimeter full frame. What you're doing though is you're using a longer lens. You're using a much more telephoto-like lens. Therefore, you have shallower depth of field, and you have a very different rendering also of the bokeh that happens in the background. And the way things fall off. Things fall off differently on a person's face with different focal lengths. And that's really what the look is all about, is you end up using a different set of optics to get your images.
Now, Michael, a question for you. Another question for you, I'll say. A lot of shooters today find that doing video in their photography practice is mandatory. They can't separate the two, especially for our wedding photographers. How efficient or how good is this camera, being that it's a large format sensor, good for video as well?
GFX100S2 will not do internal ProRes like GFX100 does. So the GFX100S2 only has SD cards. It doesn't take CF Express Type B, so it can't do internal ProRes. But the H.264, H.265, again, is beautiful. We have two different log tone curves to choose from. So log gives you maximum dynamic range of up around 14 stops, and it needs to be graded, but it's a beautiful, beautiful tone curve. Or you could, if you want, capture video using a film simulation right in the camera. I did a feature film doing that about 5 years ago with an X-T4 camera. I did the whole thing using film simulation because the production didn't have the money to do grading in post-production, so I made it easy on them. The maximum deliverable on this is 4K, and it will do up to 30p. So it's not like the GFX100 that can do better, but it can do HD, and it can do full sensor width. But it does have autofocus, which is perfectly good. The in-camera preamps for audio are very nice and clean, so you can input audio and record directly into the camera. You don't have to do second sound if you don't need to.
But you also have HDMI ports in here too, so if you have to go external for ProRes, you have that flexibility.
So that is another difference between 100S2 and 102, is the HDMI port on the 100S2 is a micro HDMI, whereas on the 102, it's a full-size HDMI.
Understood. Now, a lot of Fujifilm shooters do shoot APS-C. What's the learning curve like going from an APS-C size to the large format Fuji?
Well, in terms of operation, zero. We have the exact same menu structure across the board on all of our current cameras. So if you have an X-T4, you have an X-T5, you have an X100, whatever whatever you're used to in those menus, it's the same structure here for stills and video. It doesn't matter. The only other learning curve would be thinking differently in terms of optics. Like, well, if I want a 150 millimeter lens on my X-T5, what does that mean on the GFX? That's just some mental math you get used to very, very quickly.
Got it. You would think that because it's a large format, it'd be a much bigger and heavier camera, but it feels well balanced in your hand, even with the lens in there. It feels well balanced.
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't remember the exact spec on the weight of the camera body, but you can see I'm flinging it around pretty easily.
Yeah, go ahead and throw it in the air. Let me see. Just kidding. Oh,
yeah, great. Do it again?
Never.
Yeah. Yeah, I do birthday parties.
No, it's great, and I'm so excited that Fuji is bringing it to the market. It's very unique. It does separate kind of different groups of photographer, which means you get more variety in the artwork that the photographers are producing. I love to see different types of cameras, and I love the fact that you guys are sticking to your essence when it comes to developing film through the digital film simulation. So that's amazing. Michael, I can talk to you all day about gear, cameras, and lenses, but you know what? I'm going to save a lot of this conversation for our friends on the expo floor. So if you want to learn more about Fujifilm, you got to come to the expo floor. They're going to be there from January 11th to January 13th. Their booth number is 339. So please stop by the Fujifilm booth, say hi to Michael, touch the cameras, even go on a photo walk. You got to do a Fujifilm photo walk to really maximize the value of the cameras and see what you can create with a Fujifilm camera. Yep. So Michael, any last words for our viewers before Imaging USA?
Well, honestly, I just wish all of you very, very happy holidays.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Well, happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Michael, thank you to you and your team at Fuji for keeping us inspired and creating great products and being committed to the industry. And everyone, happy holidays from me as well. Keep inspiring, and I'll see you at Imaging.